Hey everybody, RetroPie Guy here. Today we're going to jump into this week's weekly update here for the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel, where I just briefly talk to you guys about what to expect in terms of videos this week here on the channel. Bear with me, I've lost my voice a couple days ago. It's finally getting back to normal, but if I sound a little crazy, that's what's going on. So I think I need another day or two till I'm fully back to normal, but doing much better to say the least. So in terms of videos here on the channel this week, I'm focusing actually on 3 projects. And I think that they're going to be pretty good videos. So the first one, and they may not be in this order, but the first one I think I'm going to do, and it's probably the quickest, so I think that's why it's going to be the first one, is I'm actually going to do a video talking about how you can get your hands on a Raspberry Pi 4 computer board here in 2022 with all the chip shortages and all this nightmare that surrounds this particular product line. So last week I did a video talking about the Raspberry Pi 5 and how the Raspberry Pi Foundation has pretty much curbed their plans to put out a Raspberry Pi 5 product due to all these shortages and how they just can't keep up with their current product line. So I spent a couple hours over the weekend going through different websites like eBay, for example, trying to find Raspberry Pi 4s. And I actually found quite a few of them at fairly reasonable prices. Now, I'm talking about used products. This isn't going to be new stuff because the new stuff is selling for, as I talked about in previous videos, upwards of $150, and in some cases, people have told me about finding them on Amazon at $250 a couple days ago. So I think I saw one maybe 3-4 days ago now for $230. It went up on Amazon and it was sold. I checked back like an hour later and there was no sign of it. So they're selling at insane prices right now, but if you get one used, and luckily these products hold up extremely well, if you get them used, you can find them sometimes at like that $115 price point, but I'm going to do this video and talk about ways that you can actually find them even cheaper than that, because there's so many products out there that actually do use Raspberry Pis inside of them that there are some ways to go about finding them. And they may not in the pictures look like Raspberry Pis because they're in enclosures or cases and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you guys some tips as to what you can look for to keep your eye out for these at more reasonable prices than what you can typically find them for. So I think it's going to be a valuable video in that sense because it's sharing some information about, acquiring these at a much more reasonable price. You just have to think outside the box a little bit. But I'm going to share what I found and how I found it in a couple days here on the channel, so stay tuned for that video. That's the most exciting one, I think, for the beginning of the week. I'm also I talked about last week doing the edits for a video that I filmed 2 months ago, I think, with Castro, and that was jumping into We Raced Each Other in NASCAR 2011, the game for PlayStation 3. We jumped into that on Bottasera. So now, even if you don't want to watch Castro and I banter back and forth as we race each other in that game, it's a great way to gauge the performance of the RPC S3 PlayStation 3 emulator on Bottasera. You can see that it's a fast-paced game with just insane graphics, so it's a great way to gauge the performance quality of that emulator on Bottasera. So that'll be fun. I'm definitely going to get that done this week because I've talked about it last week. Didn't get around to it, but that'll be a good video as well. The other thing is I'm going to jump into a restoration video, and I got a bunch of Nintendo DS lights. I got them actually about a month ago, and I haven't touched them yet, but I got a great deal on them. The only issue is they look absolutely horrendous. They've got crud all over them. They've got stickers, sticker residue. They're just an absolute mess. They need to be totally scrubbed and cleaned and restored, but they function, and that's the important part. They power on, you can play games, functions of the buttons and everything's perfect, so they just need to be restored. I've never restored anything before, but I'm going to jump in here. I've researched how to do it and some of the products that you can use, so I'm going to jump in, do a video, and we're going to see how it turns out. Can't guarantee it's going to be 100% perfect, but it absolutely can't get worse than how they look currently. So I got about 10 or 15 of these things. I forget how many because it was a month ago that I purchased them, and they've just been sitting in the corner of my office here. But I'm going to probably grab 2 different ones. I got a bunch of different colors, so I'm going to pick 2 of the nastiest, grossest ones and really challenge myself. So I think that'll be a fun video too. I'm looking forward to it. I've never done anything like that before, but I do a lot of tutorial videos on here, a lot of stuff that while it's new and exciting in its own way, it can get a little bit tedious and mundane at times. So tackling something that I haven't done yet is super exciting to me, and it's a new challenge. So looking forward to that as well. But those are the three main videos that I'm focusing on this week. I may do a couple other things that I throw in as I just randomly think of it, but those are the main focuses. Those are what you should look forward to seeing this week here on the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel. That's going to do it for today. Hope you guys had a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys here on the channel this week. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know the drill. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button just to stay in the loop for all these future videos that'll be coming out this week here on the RetroPie Guy YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.